Hey, everybody, and welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. This is Katie, and I am here with my partner in crime, sister, and best friend, too. Kristi, hello. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm cold.
Yeah, it's
We have
winter
snow
here in
on the
Idaho.
ground. It is. It is
It happened.
chilling.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I know every year we're sort of shocked, but we lived here our whole lives and we really should be used to it. But whenever it happens, we're like, shit, it's here again. Yeah,
Mm, I
yeah, it's
know.
cold.
Now this is really stupid, but I now I kind of wish we'd get a really good cold snap, like below zero,
Ooh,
because, well, every year, I when it gets really cold, when it gets below zero, and it's going to be for several days, I buy punching bags or punching not bags, punching
oh,
balloons, like
yeah,
the really big balloons, and we fill them
yeah.
with water and Kool-Aid so that we get different colors, for the food color effect. And we usually make like, I don't know, 10, 12 of them. I think this year I want to make a few more. And we put them out and we line from the driveway up to our house with them and let them freeze. And once they're frozen solid, then you just break the balloons off and you have these big colored ice balls. And then we wrap
They're
rope.
very pretty.
They're beautiful. Yeah, we wrap rope lights around them so that we have this, like, these gorgeous ice balls that lead up to our steps. And it's really pretty. And so now I'm like, all right, fine. It snowed. It's cold. Great. Bring on the sub zero so I can get my ice going.
Oh man, I'm like I can deal with Idaho winters, have done my entire life, but it is the sub-zero that's the hardest for me. So I'm like, bite your tongue. I don't know.
Well, we didn't get sub
Or
zero.
kiss my foot.
Kiss your foot. We
Listen
didn't
to our
get sub
Walter Mason
zero.
episode and you will know why that's funny.
Yep. We didn't get sub zero before Christmas last year, so I didn't get to do them.
That's right.
We
Yeah.
just didn't get sub zero until January. But anyway, so hopefully we get it sooner this year. But or we don't, whatever. But
I don't know. I'm not
for
sure those
me,
ice balls are worth it. If you haven't lived somewhere that goes below zero, thank yourself for living where you do because it's not fun.
yeah, but they are pretty. I mean, they're really pretty.
They are really pretty. Okay, they are
So there
really
is that.
pretty. Yeah,
There.
they're not worth it. But yeah, they're very
Wow, I was going to say if you played your cards right, I would make you a few, but wow.
Oh, well, I mean, if you were gonna make me some, okay.
Right? See, that's how it is. Anyway, so really all is well here, but you as well.
Mhm.
I see that your dogs have gotten new pajamas.
My dogs did get new pajamas. I bought pajamas for my 2 dachshunds, and they're making these dog pajamas now that instead of just a coat that goes halfway down their backs, it's a whole outfit that goes on their front legs and their back legs, which I think is pretty great. My little dogs are little, and they are, they're short hair, they get cold, speaking of Sub-Zero, and so I like to put them in things in the wintertime that are warmer for them. They don't love the clothes, but they do appreciate the warmth, and,
Mhm.
I was pretty pleased about these pajamas.
Yeah,
They're
they're
really
super
cute. They
cute.
look very
Yeah,
dapper.
they're adorable and very frustrated.
Yes, yes. They're not so sure they love them, but they look cute. I mean, is that not enough?
They will learn to love them.
They will.
Yes,
Well,
for
they stay
sure.
warm. They I tease them that they're too dumb to know what's best for themselves because, when
Yeah.
it's really cold, they need something else to help. 'Cause
Mhm.
they don't have much.
See, I wish I could put coats like that on my chihuahuas, but my old boy Skippy, he doesn't even know if he's cold. He just doesn't. I mean, it's,
He
the
doesn't
dementia
even
has
know
set in deeply, but
he doesn't even know if he's at your house or Disneyland, so
no, he doesn't. But of course, we work hard to keep him warm. But our other chihuahua is a deer chihuahua, so he really needs it. I mean, he's skinny. Deer chihuahuas don't have undercoats, and if
mm-mm.
you put a coat on that dog, he's paralyzed. He will lower himself to the floor and stay there till you take the coat off. He can't walk in it. He can't move. It's like, yeah, you might as well put a straight jacket on him. He can't do anything.
I
So,
love that. So funny.
yep,
Poor
he's
little Rico. And he is
so
the dog that
weird.
needs it. That he's so little and skinny, and he has these
Hmm.
tiny skinny legs, these really long skinny legs. But yeah,
Hmm.
he could use some pajamas.
He could totally use some pajamas. And I've thought before, maybe if I put something on him and just leave it on him long enough, he'll get used to it. No, no, he does not. It just It ruins his life. There's nothing. Yeah. So we just go outside for really quick potty breaks and come right back in. And that's just how it's going to be.
Oh my goodness.
He's not neurotic.
He is the most neurotic dog I've ever met. He is terrified of everything. But when
Mhm.
you're that little, I guess, everything seems huge and monstrous and like you live with giants and stuff.
Mhm.
So it makes sense.
That's how it is. Well, I have a case to present, Kristi, to you. So
Okay.
I'm going to present the case, and Kristi's going to cold read it. So this is the case of Ruth Elizabeth. Wow, Ruth Elizabeth Baumgardner.
Okay.
She was a senior art major at Ohio Wesleyan University in 1937. She
Ooh, all
belonged
that.
to, yeah, she belonged to the Delta Delta Delta, or the Tri-Delt sorority.
Mm,
She had her own room in the Austin Hall on the Ohio Wesleyan campus. And, she was a senior. She was, doing all the things. She had been really stressed and really tired. She'd written a letter to her parents and told them that she was worried that she wasn't going to have enough credits to graduate and that she had a lot to do and that she was feeling really worn out, and had put that in the mail and sent that letter to them. Well, on May 4th, her sorority sister saw her a little after 11, headed to bed to her room to study. They said she had her hair up in curlers and pins and was just acting normal. Remember curlers and pins? I do. My grandma used them.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She sure did.
Yeah. And she acted normal. Sometime before midnight, she came back out of her room with a overnight case and said goodbye to her friends and has never been seen or heard from again. So the next
Mm,
day, I think they assumed she was just going home
mhm.
to her parents' house. They were in Lakewood, Ohio. But the next day, she didn't go to class. So when her sorority sisters realized that she hadn't been to class all day, they called campus security at 10:30 in the evening. And so that started an investigation. They found her key sitting on the back corner of a staircase in the Austin Hall where she lived. Um, they don't know if she left it there or who, but it was just sitting there. She had a brand new red Dodge car, and it was sitting in her parking space with the keys in the ignition, totally undisturbed.
Mm,
Her bedroom was in perfect order, totally cleaned up, bed made, absolutely spotless, which apparently, according to her sorority sisters, was totally unlike her.
mm.
Usually her bedroom was a wreck, but no, it was all cleaned and put together. Uh, Her alarm clock was set for 6 a.m. and it had apparently run down because she wasn't there. They think that she didn't have more than like $5 in cash, according to her parents. They didn't think she would have any more than that. Of course, $5 in 1937 is a little different than $5 now, but
Mhm.
her watch, her sorority pin, and some loose change were in her room, so she didn't have any of that with her. They think perhaps she did have her purse. I initially her family thought, and I don't know why there's nothing to support why they thought this. They thought she was having an amnesia event and that she had wandered off.
Hmm.
So I don't know if that's happened before. I can't find any information as to why they would have come up with that theory, but
Hmm.
that's what her family claimed.
Doesn't feel true to me at all. Not
Yeah,
at
it's
all.
just an odd theory. But at any rate, manhunt started immediately. And people started reporting that they thought they saw her in Delaware, but none of those sightings were confirmed. And they just didn't know. Authorities thought maybe she left on her own accord. The sorority sisters reported that the day she disappeared, there were 3 calls for her that she did take from an unidentified man.
Mhm.
However,
I think
she
his
had
name
a
was John Haynes.
okay, she had a fiance in her hometown. But it
Mhm.
wasn't him that was calling.
Mhm.
So at any rate, they didn't know. Nobody knows. A local resident said that who lived near the campus, she said that she heard screams between 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. on May 5th. But there's no evidence as to what that was or why. Then a little bit later, interestingly too, when this came out in the newspaper, her disappearance, it was the same paper that ran the information or around the story about the Hindenburg crash. It happened at the same time.
Oh,
Not that
wow.
not that it was related, just interesting. Same
Yeah.
time in history as the Hindenburg.
Wow.
So they search and search. So then later on in 1938, so a year later, actually January 4th, 1938, so about 9 months later, 8 months later, 4 men were arrested that were charged with murdering a Ohio highway patrolman. And one of those men told the police that he and his associates kidnapped Ruth and forced her into prostitution. The police investigated that. They investigated everything that he said, and they decided that that wasn't true at all.
It doesn't ring true to me at all. I don't feel like that's true. I feel like that was some kind of weird grandstanding. Criminals do that sometimes. That's bizarre to
Yeah.
me, but why you
Or
would
an
take credit
attempt
for
at a,
something you didn't do.
yes, or an attempt at a plea, maybe,
Yeah.
or something. Anyway,
I don't feel that's
then
true.
in 1938, Ruth's parents contact the authorities and ask them to please close her case. And there's no information as to why. There's been a lot of speculation out there about why did she come home? Did they figure out where she was? There's no Ruth moving forward that we know of. But for some reason, or was it just too painful and they just needed it to be over? We don't know. There is a lot of speculation about why. The police, their two thoughts were either that she had a lover that she left with, or, well, actually, I'm going to let you go ahead and read it, and then I'll tell you what some of the other speculations are. But so that's all we really know. I mean, there's really no evidence beyond that as to what happened to Ruth. And then, of course, there's that speculation about why did her parents ask for the case to be closed? So, how about it?
Okay. So the man she spoke to that day, I have a very clear name, and I don't often get names, or I only get a first name. The name John Haynes just keeps coming up. I do feel like he was quite a bit older than her, and I feel like he had sucked her in. She thought she was going off on a little romantic getaway with him. I do feel that she fully intended to come back, and that this wasn't in her mind that she was going to be gone forever. But I do feel like it was a little bit reckless, and it was a little bit impulsive on her part, but that she thought she was in love with this man. I do feel that he killed her. I do feel she is dead, and that he did kill her at the time that this all went down. I don't feel like her body will ever be found because nobody knew who this guy was. Nobody even knew to look for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like he preyed on college women, and that he seemed very mysterious and romantic and worldly kind of guy, and really sucked her in and got her to go on this overnight trip with him in which he raped and killed her. I do feel he buried her body somewhere in the wilderness, and that no one even knew where to look for her because they didn't know him, or that he had picked her up, or anything. But I feel like she was gone that night.
Mm-hmm.
That she wasn't, she wasn't off with a lover running around the world kind of thing. I don't feel like that's the case at all. I do feel like her family just came to the decision that she was dead. That she was dead and she wasn't coming back, and that they couldn't handle the pain of the investigation anymore. That they fully believed that she was not returning. And at that point, they just didn't want to go through it anymore. I don't feel like they got any information about her or that they knew anything. I just feel like they went, we can't do this anymore. It's too painful. And, with all this time, this is so unlike her. she's gone.
Mhm. Okay. And that rings true to me in that the speculations that were made about her, and yet again, we see a really common thread here in making the victim out to be an undesirable, right?
Right.
So first of all, there was, the man who claimed that they forced her into a prostitution ring, and that was deeply embarrassing for her family.
Mhm.
And the thought that that's would be the case, and of course it was proven to be untrue anyway, but that was deeply embarrassing and painful for them. The other going theory was that she was pregnant, and that's why she was writing her parents, telling them that she was so tired. And though her sorority sister said she didn't act any out of the ordinary at all, she was getting ready to perform, or as she was a singer getting ready to perform. She'd been practicing and practicing. She was studying for tests. She was writing papers. She was acting completely normal. But,
Mhm.
a lot of college seniors are tired and stressed. That's pretty normal,
Yeah.
But the
Right.
other thought was that she was pregnant and that this unknown man that had been calling was that this was for an abortion, and that she was
Mm.
beating up for some kind of, backdoor abortion. And that's what this was about.
No, no, not at all. This was very innocent on her part. She thought she had fallen in love with this mysterious man and was taking a little overnight getaway with him,
Mm-hmm.
and she thought that's what she was doing, and she thought she would come back to her life, and
Mm-hmm.
that she would come back to her room and her family and her school and everything. She had no idea. I feel like she, went into this fully with full trust of the situation and had no idea
Mm-hmm.
that she was dealing with a very dangerous person.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think she left her key?
I think that was accidental. My sense of it is that she was really excited, that she stopped to speak to someone, that it wasn't intentional to leave it behind. She was returning. I've
Mhm.
every sense tells me that she was coming back. In her mind, she would be back.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that makes sense to me. And that makes sense to me. All of that rings true to me as to why her parents asked for the investigation to be closed,
Yeah.
because the theories were degrading to her and
Mhm.
to them. And it was
And
so
I just feel
painful
like
for
they
them.
knew it was so out of character for her to
Mhm.
just disappear and not contact them. Like, this is not
Yeah.
the kind of relationship that they had, that they knew she was gone.
Yeah.
They would have been hearing from her if she was still living.
Hmm. Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. What a case. Yeah.
Yeah, really sad. Just really
Well, yeah,
sad.
she had everything going for her,
She
and
did.
she was a senior, she was gifted, she was beloved, she had a lot of friends, she had a lot of things going, and she was engaged. But I feel like the engagement must have been kind of maybe it was a high school flame, or,
Mhm. She was
maybe
really
somebody
looking for
shouldn't.
some adventure and
Yes.
looking for some excitement. I feel like she
Yeah.
was, and that somebody came across her that was, willing to
Mhm.
offer that, and that's what she thought she was doing.
Yeah.
She had no idea she was, stepping into her own death with this person.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Well, thank you very much for reading that.
Mm,
And of course, in 1937, obviously Ruth's family is probably mostly passed on at this point, though,
yeah.
I hope that her parents found some kind of peace at some point for sure.
Mhm.
And her sorority sisters, I can only imagine how it felt to have one of their own vanish, from
Oh,
their dorm, you know.
it's gotta be terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. All righty. Well, that is it for this episode. But you guys, as you may notice, we now have episodes coming out on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and then live streams on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights. And if you're
Yeah.
podcast listeners, you get the recordings of those live streams, of course, on Thursday morning and Friday morning. So 5 episodes a week from us now. That's our new
Yeah.
format that we started last week, and had lots of great feedback from you guys that you like that format a lot. So we're just going to keep it rolling.
We sure are.
Yeah. So, of course, if you don't follow us on YouTube, come over here and check us out. Like, follow, share. What else can we say? That's the stuff that helps us along. You can come find us on Patreon. We do have 2 extra episodes or, extra content anyway on Patreon every month. If you want to support us that way, we always support that or appreciate that a lot as well.
Mhm.
And we'll
We
be
sure
back with
do.
another episode shortly. So thank you so much for being here. You've been listening to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Take care.
Bye, guys.